Alright, YouTube, Shadow KingNazaru's, and we got the God of War 5 Combated Enemies official 4K dev overview. Basically talking about how they've updated the combat since the previous game. Also hoping they take inspiration from the Greek-era God of War games. And we'll see Kratos uses more violent tactics. Because there's a lot of moves that can be pulled off with the Blades of Chaos. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh, we got another new enemy, a raider, I believe.
From a combat perspective, I always, and I still feel like the meat and potatoes of any God of War game is combat.
Yeah, true enough, it is an action game. Oh, fighting Lidos. Oh, trolls. Oh, decapitation, nice.
My name is Roberto Clemente. All my friends call me Bert. I'm a senior combat animator here at Sony Santa Monica.
This is really important to me because I'm a game developer too, and I want to get other perspectives
on God of War Ragnarok.
My name is Grace Pan, and I'm a gameplay animator in God of War Ragnarok.
Hi, I'm Stephen O'Hara with GBA, combat designer on God of War, and I create interesting and memorable creatures that players like to attack and defend against.
We appreciate your efforts.
As an animator, you gave life to characters. You make them move, you gave them personalities, you gave them weight.
My role as a VFX artist is to put the power behind a move. You are in control of fire and earth and water and wind. Whether you are throwing your axe or on the receiving end of an enemy's spell, VFX is what really gives the movement and the danger to every move that a character or enemy makes.
I didn't know it went that way. That's good to know.
I work really closely with the design team and the tech art team on this project specifically. We actually work a lot with camera, along with the guidance of our great camera team. So I find myself doing fight choreography sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most challenging parts about being a combat designer isn't the technical...
Another ad? Seriously? We don't have time for that.
Implementation of creating a creature, but it's really navigating...
I imagine these raiders are going to be like the first enemies in the game, so just get the tutorial.
And really try hard against that enemy and feel good about overcoming that, but we don't
just
want to make them feel defeated if they can't.
Players can get reacquainted with the gameplay.
Not because it was impossible, but because it was fun and engaging.
Yeah, we wouldn't want enemies that feel impossible, otherwise you're just going to rage quit.
More mini bosses, bigger creatures, and enemy variety, and this time we really leaned into that.
Oh, thank God, because they were really limited with their options of monsters and bosses.
Enemies that are very unique to that space. For example, in Alfheim, we're familiar with the Dark Elves, but this time around we're going to be fighting Light Elves, such as the Light Elf Warrior.
Wonder where we're going to be fighting the Light Elves, considering we saved them.
From the last God of War game is we don't have to think about the camera and how close combat is going to feel. We already have that knowledge, so we can build upon the close camera that we have, and we can iterate on enemies, creating more interesting scenarios.
Cool.
In the last game, Atreus was just starting to fight alongside Kratos, and he was learning from the master tactician. So in this game, he's trying to prove himself a little bit more, and we built upon those mechanics with him.
The previous God of War, Atreus was still a kid, right? So he has a lot of dependency on his father. And for this game, you will see Atreus moving more independently on his own as a companion.
Is this kind of hinting that we might play as Atreus?
In regards to VFX for Kratos, I think that the players really love...
They'll probably be against weak enemies because he won't be pulling off stuff that Kratos does.
You really do feel like the God of War. And moving into...
He doesn't have much armor.
Really
then again, Kratos doesn't tend to have much armor himself, unless you equip it.
Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that the Blades of Chaos could get even better, but look at that.
They must be new, they don't know that.
So as Kratos gets more powerful, he's going to have access to newer combos and newer abilities that will increase...
Cyclone of Chaos!
Each weapon.
Not Cyclone of Chaos. Apollo Ascension.
Previous God of War is the combat grapple, and we're going to be bringing that with a new twist.
I'm very excited for players to
Glad they
try
brought
to
that out
play
from God of War
grapple
3.
traversal moves. That brings so much more speed into the movement and the dynamic feel to it.
Yeah, speed is
One
key
of the
when it
ways
comes
we've
to
expanded
plays.
Kratos combat this time around is we've given more utility and choice to his shield loadout.
If you are a parry person, you could really go for a shield that gears towards parrying. If you're a big blocker, then you could choose a shield that will really match your playstyle.
I'm pretty
One mechanic or
flexible.
element that I'm really excited about is these combo finishers. Building up the stun meter this time around is going to lead to different ways to basically decapitate the enemy.
So what happened to the
You're
other
gonna
shield,
choose
the
which weapon you
original
wanna
one?
have when
Did it
you
get
kill
broken
that.
or something? Did it get broken by
Another
Thor
feature that we've
or some
added
other
for Kratos
god?
is his new pre-fall attacks. So you could jump off a ledge, and if there's an enemy below you, you could slam down on him.
Ooh, superhero landing.
There's such an emphasis on verticality in some of these fights that it's super engaging. And as Kratos, now that you have so much mobility and that you can also take advantage of that verticality, I think it just adds such another interesting layer to a fight.
In God of War Ragnarok, we've enhanced the Kratos and Atreus duo. He's going to initiate a little bit more and be aggressive. He's going to fight alongside you. Sometimes even surprise you with his combo abilities too.
Some of the new expanded companion actions that you'll see Atreus do leverage the fact that he's older now, he's bigger now. And he's different from Kratos, so his magic has a different flavor.
Yeah.
Not only that the fight side by side together, there are also a lot of mini games and player interaction moments. For example, like the puzzle systems and the set pieces. You definitely will see a lot more collaborations between father and son.
Ooh, the Valkyries. I don't think they'll be as tough as the side mission Valkyries from God of War 4. Because it seems more story
There's
focused.
so much that goes into building a big set piece. You basically iterate and iterate and iterate, and it takes testing and just being
Scarlet and
to really
Hati.
figure out the personality of something. Basically, every department gives it their all to make things really spectacular. There were a lot of different times that I would look back at God of War games just through the ages before 2018. There were so many amazing, huge boss fights and set pieces that it was a huge inspiration for me on my time on this project.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Always look to the old games.
Our design philosophy for creating new and memorable enemies is basically making them a combat puzzle, similar to like chess, and focusing on the chess pieces. Each piece has its own theme and its own use.
You may be able to see what's happening in an instant and be able to react as the player.
There's a couple of different ways that we go into making an attack very readable for the player. Sometimes we add a signature audio cue, or we'll add the different rings, such as what we did in the last game, that lets you know that this attack is unblockable, you need to dodge it.
Okay.
There's so many different ways that VFX really helps not just show what an enemy is about to do, but show who the enemy really is.
Everything you design has to be surrounding the essence of the character and a story. It's what makes it believable and memorable in the first place.
I think what I'm most excited about is for players to experience the diversity of enemies that this game has to offer. You will be fighting everything from small little creatures to things that will take up the entire screen.
All of their designs run the gamut. I think each one looks so much different from the next one, and each of them have their own play styles and their own little fantasies that go into it. And so I think if you are really into Norse mythology, you'll be very interested to see how Sony Santa Monica has taken some of these creatures and interpreted them for God of War.
Everything that goes into the game, there's emotion behind it and intent behind it.
Tokenized
And by the time it
Angrboda.
gets to you, everything that you've seen, that you're going to play and experience, has been sweated over, bled over, tested, and is fun to play.
Time to go all out. Pre-order November 9th. I hope to get the PlayStation 5 bundle to get that comes with the game. So yeah, that was the video. I am glad that they're making improvements to the game. Also, glad that they're taking inspirations from the previous games. Looking forward to game November 9th. Hopefully I can get the PlayStation 5 bundle, which comes with not only the console, but also the game. I'll catch you mortals later.